Today's podcast is the Ewan's Sick podcast. Ewan's Feeling Under the Weather podcast. This is the Ewan's Got an Ill cast. Sick cast. Fucking poo cast. I've used that one before, but it's relevant now more than ever. The Ewan's Dead cast. I'm under the weather, I'm sick. I've caught germs off of people at work, probably. They're all filthy and covered in fucking germs, making me sick. I have to wash my hands again and again and again and fucking get rid of all the germs. But I've taken medicine and I've drank my warm juices and popped some caffeine pills. So I'm trying to do a podcast. We'll see how it comes out. I feel a little bit like I might throw up. So it might be interesting if I throw up live on my recorded podcast. I might run to the bathroom. You might hear me in the background going... excuse me. But I'm drawing a drawing from scratch. I get annoyed with a lot of artists, if you can call them such, the fucking wankers, the lot of them, the bloody bastards. Oh, I spend all my time drawing, give me some money. Shut up. They'll go, oh, here's a video of me doing a painting, and it's the very final last little touches on the paint. Let me just add in this tiny bit of white. Or even fucking bastards, a lot of them. You can see they're using a dry brush for like the video to make it look nice. Oh, just put the last bit of paint onto the painting. Oh, look how wonderful it is. You haven't watched them paint it. They probably fucked up a whole load of times, but they're not going to show you that, are they? No, the farts. So I'm drawing a drawing from scratch, so it might turn out shitty. But we'll see how it goes. Well, from scratch. I've started from probably this point, but it's basically scratch. You can see him. It's a guy sitting in a chair. This is a chair. This is a guy sitting in said chair. And he's drawing a thing. But what's he the bloody drawing? Well, that's for me to know and you to shut your fucking whore mouths. Now, the one fundamental, most important aspect of starting a drawing is, what I find anyway to be the case, is to just dive in headlong. Just go flip, 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 and then draw some shit, and then draw over the shit and draw it until it's good. If you start trying to measure shit out and go, well, the head's supposed to be this size, so the rest of the body has to coordinate and be this many heads, and lines dictating where everything's going to go, and it all gets a bit tiresome and busy. I've done that a little bit here, but these are all relevant lines and shapes to the drawing. It's not me trying to, all right, Ewan, stop fucking talking on your podcast and actually draw some shit, you piece of garbage. So this is a hand. Oh my god, Ewan, you're a genius illustrator. A hand, wow. I could never draw such a thing if I tried. Ooh, so don't try, you pissant. Roughy, rough. Like a dog says. Rough. This is an ear. And the guy's head, I suppose. This is sticky out nose. And a hand. How do I draw a hand like that? Thumb. It's pen or such, something such. And yeah, you get it. Wow! It's a drawing already. Legs. legs, as they say. I don't know where they say that. Again, bear with me. I'm sick. God damn you, I'm sick. What's he drawing? He's drawing a naked lady. But shh, you haven't found that out yet. It's secret. It's secret. What he's drawing is all a secret. How? Put it like this. That'll work. I think you'll be able to tell what that is once it's all done. And this is the thing his model is on. Laying, sitting, whatever. That should be probably to there, and there, and then the model will be there. Yeah, bloody yeah. Some shoes. Shoes are always fun to draw in drawings. Oh, I was aware of my last podcast. I think I was very quiet, so I'll try to be louder in this one to make sure you can all hear me properly. Now, or later, lots of people ask me as a thing to talk about in my podcasts. I don't really ask, just say, talk about this in your book. About depression and finding the will and motivation to keep drawing, even though you're depressed as fuck and don't want to fucking do a drawing. Maybe you just want to fucking sit around and not draw. Oh, pardon me again, that's my sick burps. And I'm debilitated for quite some time as to what kind of answer to give. So I could give a really silly, funny answer. Alternatively, I could give a really irritating, serious answer and pretend I have any right to answer such a question. I'm dripping from my nose, I'm sorry. Oh, let's talk about serious topics while sick. What a good idea that was. But I don't, there's not much of an answer, and obviously it's going to be a different thing for different people, isn't it? There's not going to be one catch-all answer for everyone. Some people work in different ways to how other people work. Oh, wonderful. So it's a tricky one to try and answer. I usually would just say, don't try to force it. Like sex, I presume. See, I don't have that. If you try and force it, you're gonna have a bad time. So you just gotta chill and doodle and shit. Lots of doodling. Always do the doodling. Don't try and focus your energies, what little energy you might have, on big important drawings. Just do some silly shitty little doodles. And then, something good might come out of that, something might not, but you're doing something, innit? It's better than doing nothing. You're doing something. But at the same time, if you really don't have it in you, just I cannot draw, I just can't bring myself to do it, then don't. It's only drawing. It'll still be there. if you're feeling better soon or later. So fucking pick it up then. It's only fucking drawing, innit? It doesn't matter. Do it. Well, he says, I'm trying to make a living out of it, so it's quite important. But don't put so much importance in some fucking drawing. It's only some fucking drawing. I did the most important thing when you're starting a drawing. I did answer that, didn't I? I didn't just leave it open-ended. Oh God, did I leave it open-ended? Like my anus open-ended. I'm all wheezy because I'm sick. And all because I'm a piece of shit. Also, ha 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 ha. I was gonna give like a visual example of that. Do we want a visual example of that? I don't know. Maybe it's an obvious thing that doesn't require a visual example. But maybe it's bloody not. Oh, go on then. Let me do this, and then I'll do a visual example. I'm going to try and have this whole drawing finished within the podcast time limitations. Let me just see how that's looking on the reverse side by holding it up to the lamp. See, look, that's it reversed. So you can gauge if your proportions and such are working out correctly. So instead of, because you might go, well, I'm going to draw a person, so I know the head is like this, and then they have the line through the middle, and then the eyes would be here, and then the nose and the mouth, and then the neck would be here, but then the shoulders like this, so you'd have another head here, and another head here, and another head, and then the rib cage is this sort of shape, and collarbones and such. So this would be sort of where my person is going to be. Instead of doing that, just fucking go like this. Go head and fucking body. Let's have a very posh man adjusting his cufflinks. Yes, that's bloody British of you. So his hands would be here, like this. Cool. And then you go, okay, that's basically what the shit is. So let's do the shit. This is a man. Obviously. Neck, let's give him a very posh looking suit. If he's adjusting his body cufflinks. Cuff. Suit. You worry about all the creases and shit in the suit later on, can't you? That's irrelevant at this point, I think. Thummy thumb there. Obviously, it's very exaggerated and such. Oh, how would the hand look from if he's be like this? Something like that. Pinky. These are fingers. That's a thumb. And some hair. That's how men look in suits when they're wearing. The point is, don't bother. I mean, you can. I'm not saying don't do this ever. It's just, I find it works best. And then you take your time and you add in bits and you render and add shading and make it look good as opposed to shitty or whatever. Look at him looking snarky like a piece of shit he is. As well he might. The cock. But yeah, then you add in the rendering and the shading and you make it look good. But you start by just going, "Birdie bird, there's the curtain. And the curtain looks like that. Ha 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 ha." There's a tummy button. And a willy. Because then it's more fun to do the drawing, especially if... yeah, I'll get you, He-Man. Faggot. It's all right. He can say it. He's dead. What are you going to do to him? Excuse me. Oh, I tasted a big load of snot on that one. Maybe I should blow my nose as opposed to just sniffing all of the time. Yeah, especially if you are feeling down and unmotivated, then the last thing you want to do is start fucking measuring out shit for your drawing and, working up proportions and guidelines and all that fucking bollocks. Then just fucking dive in and go silly and go, look, here's a fucking silly shape of a person, and now it looks more like a proper person. Bloody magic. Hooray. Yeah? Yeah, cool. Glad we got that cleared up. Alternatively, just be good at drawing. And then you fucking draw good all the time and then you're good. No worries. Now I'm going to go quiet for 40 minutes while I continue this drawing. I think I've used up all the material that I thought of. When doing these things, I think, oh, I could talk about that. I could throw that in there. Oh, and this would be funny. Let's talk about that and be humorous about it. That would be fucking hilarious and shit. And then I realised that's, maybe at stretch, 10 minutes of material. So I then have to make up for the rest of it. Try to get these things to an hour. 45 minutes to an hour I think is sort of all right. If it's 45 minutes, then I'm obviously lacking. Any less than that, then maybe I should call it quits. We'll see if we get to that point, which we might be at quite soon. What else can I talk about? Oh, my book's on its way. Not literally on its way, soon, hopefully. Finishing it up. There's been some issues with some fucking intellectual property and shit. I don't know if I mentioned on here before, so I'll say it again just in case. Quite a substantial chunk of my book of paintings is paintings over drawings done by other people, artists that I like and admire and such from Instagram. And so an issue arose with compensating those artists for using their work in my book, because it's their work, so surely they should be paid for it being in my book. So I won't get into details about that because talking finance is never really fun, is it? I think this arm's way too long. What do you reckon? Does that look too long? I don't know. But I think the issues have just about been worked out with the book. So I'm trying to get it to the printers ASAP, as they say, and then have my fucking second book done and dusted. A book of paintings. Although there are some edits I want to make to a few pages, which I'll be doing over the next couple of days, and then should have it ready to be sent to the printers, which will be cool. And then I'll have 2 books that are sitting around doing nothing for me, not really making me any kind of money whatsoever. Self-publishing's nice and all, but Or you publish it on Amazon and you get a thing. It's just stuff I can do, but again, not really, you know, it's a great deal of effort for a very little return. As they say. Do they say? No, no one says anything. But I have a plan for, well, a couple of next books, I suppose. One being nudes, obviously. I've done ballpoint drawings. This one will be paintings. And so the next sort of thing I'm known for, if not the thing I'm known most for, which is possibly the thing, is a bunch of nudes, drawings of naked ladies. A big book of drawings of naked ladies, which I think, you know, I already have quite a substantial amount of as it is, but I'm, you know, not constantly, but very regularly building upon that. So I'll certainly have enough to fill a book and then some. And that could be quite a good one. I've got quite a nice idea for the cover as well. Oh, I could tell you, people watching this, because you're not everyone, are you? I think because my first book was comic book proportions size, so it's like a graphic novel sized thing. It's a good sized thing. My second one is going to be A4, this size, a bit bigger, hopefully a bit chunkier, a bit of a bigger book. Quite cool, paintings as opposed to drawing. Nice. And then I thought for the nudes one would be quite cool to have a square book. Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. Could be quite cool. Could be fucking shit, but it could be quite cool. And you know, I have that sort of neon toxic pink colour I use quite often as backgrounds and things. If you go to my website, ewansucks.com, that's Ewan with no spaces.com, the background is just harsh, blammo, toxic waste pink, which I quite like. So the cover would be that, just all that, and then in like typewriter font, just in the middle, just a little thing, it would say nudes. And that'd be cool, wouldn't it? You know, I'm not going to have like a big naked lady on the front, because if I did want to get it in shops, then, you know, I can't just have naked ladies on the front of the book. Have a nice square book, maybe wrapped in plastic or whatever. It says nudes on the front, so you know what's in it. You open it up and you go, oh, it's literally what it says. Bunch of fucking nudes. Flip. I get it, you, and you didn't need 400 pages, but cool. And, you know, it would start with like my first butt drawings, move into my more modern stuff. I try to make them all chronological. That's what I've done with my my paintings book, is I've tried as best I can to put the paintings in more or less chronological order of when they were created. I did that kind of with my ballpoint book, but not so much, because the ballpoint book I aimed for a visual sort of, so it starts just black and white and then goes into a bit more colour with blue and like green and reds, and then all the multicoloured pens. So it like goes from black and white to full colour throughout the book, which I think worked quite well. But the paintings are all colourful for the most part, so I just put them in order of when I painted them. And that seems to be a sensible enough thing to do. And if you're on my Patreon, then at some point I have put up a like a whole thing you can see in one picture of all the pages currently as they are going to be printed in the paintings book, which, as I say, will be edited very shortly, but it gives you an idea at least of what's going on. And that's nice, isn't it? A nice little teaser for the bookie work. I don't know if you know Russell Brand, a comedian in England. Quite an irritating guy, often in the public eye for various stunts and antics and things. Not a big fan, but I appreciate he's a smart fellow. He's just a bit silly with it all, I think. And you know, it's what he does. It is what it is. So fucking whatevs. Gives a shit. But he had a book out that was, I assume, like an autobiography or whatever. And the title of said book was My Bookie Work. Of course, at first you think, my book, really? He's being like all silly, quirky, whatever. Really, my bookie work? But then find out it's actually a play on Clockwork Orange and the slang and use of language as a tool to excite and invite and create debate and such. You know, Alex Delage in A Clockwork Orange would say, eggy wegs, I would like to smash them. And my fucking arm. You know, that sort of thing. So my bookie work is like a play on that. So you learn that and you go, actually, I may have been prejudiced. I may have literally prejudged based on my own notions of his silly antics and whatnot. So I learned to appreciate him more for being fucking whatever. But ultimately, I don't give a shit because, you know, he's famous and making money and I'm not, so don't follow those people. No idols. Ever. Don't have idols. Don't idolise anyone. Except me. Give me all of your money because, you know, starving artist, dude. Although my stomach would tell you I am all but starving. Oh. It's been an odd sort of time of depression recently of myself, of gaining weight and losing weight again and then gaining it again. More gaining than losing, but even so, it's been something. Not to get too personal, but then it is my fucking podcast, so I get fucking personal if I fucking want. You fucking piece of shit. Fuck you, cunt. Ha 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 ha. It's alright, I'm a fucking skeleton. I can say what I want. You piece of shit. You Oh, not quite there yet. Have I said it may be in almost literally every podcast I've done, I've done the whole gag of about to use the N-word but not quite using it. What am I scared of? Why don't I just use the N? It's just a cheap gag, people. Oh, snotty snots. So as I was saying, I do have plans for another book as well. But this time, get this time, so we go ballpoint, paints, nudes, and then a fully written book. Gasp! Holy hell. Oh my fucking god. A fully written book. It would probably have illustrations in it to add to whatever. I think it would be a funny book. Well, I guess all we can really do is wait and see about that one, innit? This is a ballpoint pen from a cheap packet of ballpoint pens of like, I don't know, 25 colours or something. But it's a nice shade of purple. That's sort of in between the pink that I use and the purple that I use. So let's put some of that in here, shall we? A written book. Yeah, but what's it going to be called, Ewan? I hear you say in my head that I imagined that I had friends caring about anything I have to say ever. The book will be called How to Murder Your Children and Get Away with It. But actually, that's what it would be called. And the plan being that I write it as if I was actually writing a book called How to Murder Your Children. And see, it would start off, it would go, again, chronologically, that makes sense, doesn't it? Timeline-wise, just makes sense, doesn't it? You start at the beginning, and when you come to the end, stop. That's from Alice in Wonderland. So you start off saying, obviously, the easiest sort of thing is just to, well, I guess the easiest way is of not having kids is abstinence. Don't fuck in the front hole, and then you won't have a fucking baby afterwards. About not having kids, it's about having them, and then very quickly getting rid of them. So it would start with, obviously, abortions, a very good way to murder children, to destroy life that you've created through abortions, which I'm absolutely in favour of, by the way. Don't let my tone fool you. In fact, I think they should be mandatory. Abort all of the babies, because, you know, it's too many. And then it would move on to, you know, like late-term abortions and do them yourself at home. Abort the babies at home. DIY abortion. Maybe it will come with a do-it-yourself abortion kit. Of course, a coat hanger. No, it'd just be a hammer, actually. Something like that. And then, yeah, go into sort of using not pre-existing conditions, but conditions that do exist and using them to your advantage. Like SIDS, you know, sudden infant death syndrome, because sometimes they just die. They're asleep, and then you wake up to go and snuggle them or whatever, feed them, and they're dead. Bloody dead. A dead bloody baby is waiting for you in the morning. Ugh. What a bloody shitter that is. God, that's ruined my day. My bloody fucking baby's dead. Shit. I was going to fucking feed it out of my tit, and now it's fucking dead. Great. Thank you, SIDS. Thanks for ruining my pissing day. But, you know, shake your baby a bit and then go, oh, it must have been SIDS. I don't know. Oh. But what's all this bruising on its rib cage? They look like adult finger marks. No. That was all the SIDS. Did that? Yep. SIDS. Rape SIDS. How's this looking in the reverse? Not too bad, but you can see what it is. More or less. Yeah, and then, you know, into sort of when they're toddlers, if you can just sort of, I don't know, kick them down some stairs or something, stamp on their head a bit. Ooh, that's a bit cruel. But point being, I write the book as if it's an actual, someone's written a book called How to Murder Your Children and Get Away with It, and there's actually actual practical advice for murdering your children and getting away with it. Point being, someone writing a book like that is absurd, and that's the joke, is that it's absurd that someone would write a book like that, but I've fucking fucking idiot Ewan, I've actually written a book like that. That's the joke. The joke is the fact that I actually put the time and effort and research. It would take research, because I have plans for how I'd research it, you know. And I actually made that book exist. How to Murder Your Children and Get Away with It. And it would be a bestseller. You know, possibly. It probably wouldn't. But stranger things have happened. Hey, stranger things have happened. There's a series on Netflix called... So that's a plan I actually have, to write a book full on, couple hundred pages. As I say, some illustrations to lighten the mood a bit. Called How to Murder Your Children and Get Away with It. The point being, it's funny, yeah? Isn't it hilarious when babies die accidentally? And funnier when it's on purpose. Oh, I might have a good couple clips for the trailer of this podcast. That's good news, isn't it? Some shit about babies dying. Ooh. What if I put the clip about me mentioning clips for the trailer into the trailer? I don't think that's something I've done yet. It's untapped. It's genius. Why have I not already done that? This picture's coming out all right, I think. Not terrible, at least, but all right. Possibly. The angle, obviously, on the camera's a bit... Oh, excuse me. Oh, feeling a little bit throw-uppy. But, holding in there. For you guys, for the benefit of the art. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit queasy and nauseous, so you'll excuse me if I go a bit quiet while I regain fucking whatever. Alright, so it's a nudie fucking chickies drawing. So let's make the nudie fucking chick or whatever. Oh. I'm suffering, but I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to get through it. Oh, he's drawn a nice nude lady. This is her vagina. Yay for vaginas. Look, a nice nude lady. Isn't that sweet and precious? Sweet and precious? Who's that? It's a funny name. It's not what I said, you fucking mongrel. Feel free to suggest other chapters for my forthcoming book on how to murder your children and get away with it. By the way, I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you'd murder your children and get away with it. It's risky though, because bear in mind, from the time you get them in the hospital, they're on record as existing as a person. They have a birth certificate. A certificate of authenticity. This is a real life person you've just made. Your fucking hubris, your pride as a living person has made you go, oh, I'll just bloody have a kid. Have a kid like it's nothing, easy, yeah. But now you've created a fucking life. So here's all your paperwork you need to deal with that little shit. And then you go, oh shit, this wasn't a good idea. This wasn't what I wanted. I didn't want to actually have to deal with the repercussions of my actions. Fuck. So, you fucking murder your baby. But people who murder babies get put in prison, usually. More often than not. I think more often than not, it's probably safe to assume that they get thrown in prison. So what's to be done? Well, someone should write a guide on how to get rid of your fucking baby and get away with it. See if O.J. Simpson can write a book saying, I'm not saying I murdered a bitch, but if I was going to murder a bitch, this is probably how I'd have murdered a bitch. Like, this is a book that exists. He wrote that book. Co-wrote, ghost wrote, whatever. The book exists in part because of him saying, if I killed this fucking girl, then it might have gone a little something like this. And then he proceeds to describe in detail how everything went down as if he was actually there and it actually happened. Bizarrely. Oh, this is timely conversation, isn't it? Oh, wow. I'm glad we finally get to openly talk about this subject matter that's been plaguing us for so long. O.J. Simpson fucking killing whoever the shit it was, I don't care about. But of course it is a good example of books being written absurdly. And that's the idea behind my book. It's absurd. It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's a book called How to Murder Your Children and Get Away with It. It's not meant to be serious, you silly billies. Maybe I'll put it in the humour section, obviously. Where can I find How to Murder Your Children and Get Away with It? Oh, it's in the section with the comic books and things. Oh, the laugh, ha, ha, funny. A nice gift for the Christmas stocking section. Yeah, that's where it is. That's if you were going to buy it in a shop. I mean, do people do that nowadays? You just go on fucking Amazon Prime and have it delivered in 2 hours. And then that would be on your list of shit you've bought. I bought 1 copy of How to Murder Your Children and Get Away. Why did you buy this? Oh, no, I wasn't planning it. I was just curious. You know, the title had me curious. Although I do foresee issues in getting it published, because I would like to get it published. You know, it will have nice illustrations. It will look like an actual book. But I can see most publishers going, nah, we don't really want a title in our midst to do with murdering children and getting away with it. And I'll be like, oh, come on, guys. You know, help a brother out. So once I've got my nudes book out of the way, then I'm going to become an author as opposed to an artist. That'll be fun, won't it? A new endeavour. Oh, what do you do for a living? Oh, I write books. Oh, really? Yeah, what kind of books do you bloody write? Sort of instructional based products. Helping people with things. Oh, like DIY. That's DIY self-help sort of books. Those kinds of things. Oh, that's really cool. That's because those books are really nice because, you know, helping people and like you're providing a service. Yeah, that's exactly what I had in mind when I wrote the thing. I just want to help people. Boo. It'd be funny, though. Have you ever read a book called How to Murder Your Children? Get With It? Oh no, I've not read it, but I've seen. That's disgusting, isn't it? That someone would actually write that. Yeah. That was me. I wrote that book. Ooh, bit awkward, but yeah, it was one of mine. Oh, funny story. I wrote that book. Ooh. Mm. Well, if you haven't guessed it already, I'm not going to tell you. I haven't finished planning out the plan. Okay, that'll work. That'll work. Don't want to give away the joke to this Drizzy. Everything has to be funny, doesn't it? Ewan's just bloody funny all the time. This drawing's got a joke to it. I don't want to reveal it right away. You might have gotten it already, I don't know. I'm also wanting to get more into stand-up comedy, which I've done a few times at open mic nights and such, but is something I've always wanted to do more of. I won't ever expect to make a career out of it, but if I could, well, that would be pretty fucking cool. But I did think what it could be fun is to do readings from the book I'd written entitled How to Murder Your Children and Get Away with It. And people would be like, oh, that's very funny. And I'd be like, yeah, this is an actual book that I wrote and you can buy. That'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? Maybe. Maybe it wouldn't. Mm-hmm. Can you tell what it is yet? Shout out when you know the answer. But yeah, get up on stage and be like, hi guys, just gonna read you a couple of passages from a book I recently wrote. It's called How to Murder Your Children. And then everyone would go, that's funny, that is. And then I'd be like, chapter 2. Sids and you. Oh, funny. And then, they'd laugh. And then the laughs would obviously sort of decrease. And then they'd be like, is he actually reading from a book about how to murder your children? Again, that would be the joke. It would be very, very funny. See, the joke is that he's drawing a new lady, but it's actually a real person that's been chopped into pieces. I need to make it look a bit more gnarly and chopped up, don't I? Because it looks a bit clean, like it might just be a mannequin. But it's not just a mannequin. No, it's an actual dead body. No. Ooh, I can hear the neighbours having sex. That's interesting. It's a shame it's not loud enough to be picked up by my mobile telephone. We could pause for a bit and just listen to the sexy sex going on. That'd be fun. Probably more fun than listening to me talk. Baby boo, that's a nice picnic basket. Oh, try to reference Yogi Bear to some of the younger people who work where I work, and boy, that's not one that the youngins pick up on. Ooh, lots of blank stares on that one. Yogi Bear? Is this a bear called Yogi? Is that you? Yeah, so there's this bear and he really likes picnic baskets. Ooh, and there's this ranger who's always after him. Oh, Yogi, you're doing it again. What are you... Oh, damn you, bear. And he's got this friend called Boo Boo, who's like a little bear. Oh, it was a cartoon forever ago. Yeah, same. So do you want to hang out? No, okay, that's fine. No, I wouldn't hang out with me either. I am planning on writing a book called How to Murder Your Children and Get Away with It, so probably not the best person to go hanging around with. Shit. God damn it. That's a true thing as well. Of the old... Oh, hey! We've been talking a bit. We get on quite well. Do you want to fucking hang out sometime? And then they go... Ooh, no, what's wrong with you? Why would I ever want to do that? Jesus, did you think I actually... Oh my God, you didn't think I actually would want to spend time with you outside of work? Jesus. No way, Ewan, you fucking maniac. Ugh. Can't imagine why, he says, drawing a fucking dismembered corpse being drawn by someone. Oh well, these things happen, I suppose. Now, in the original idea for this drawing, her head would have been like here, her severed head. But, I don't know, I quite like it with no head. I think it's funnier not knowing where the bloody hell the head's gotten to. It would just be fucking... somewhere in an unknown location, cooked in a pot on the stove or something. I don't know. I'm not actually a serial killer. I don't know what they do with their fucking bits of bodies and such. And this is supposed to just be like a mattress, so I will try to make it look like one, with these mattress lines, as they are commonly known as. Of course, a book about murdering children and getting away with it isn't the sort of thing I think would be very easy to crowdfund, as I have done with my current and previous book. I don't know how willing people would be to put their own money into that project. So again, I think a mainstream publisher would be more likely to pick it up. Ha ha ha. Unlikely, but hey. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. That's what they say. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Now to make the mattress look mucky with like stains of various origin. Blood and shit and piss, obviously. I didn't mean shit literally, but there could be some on there. I just meant shit as in this shit, that shit. All kinds of shit. Bunch of shit. Ewan's drawings were a bunch of shit. Ugh. It's okay. It does look like the body's a bit of a mannequin body though. Which is not quite what I was after. But maybe that works. Maybe people go, oh, he's just obviously drawing a mannequin because he doesn't have an actual model. And then if you're in the know, you go, nah, it's an actual body. Could have drawn her alive. Maybe you did. But nah, she's fucking dead. So that's that. As they say Bobe. Oh, coming up to an hour. I wasn't sure I'd make it this far. I'm not feeling great, as I say, and you know, I didn't know if I've got most of the drawing done in that time, so that's probably a good thing. I wasn't sure I would have. I've got the point of the drawing across, if not the finished article. So it's one of those you get the idea kind of pieces. I've not been too self-deprecatory in this one either, that's good. The last one, I'm told, was a bit heavy on the old self-hatred, but you know, I hate myself, so that's how that's going to go. Well, we'll call that done for now. I'm not entirely finished, but again, you get the idea. You've seen it be created from scratch, mind you, more or less. I will fill the back of this chair in all dark, just for some contrast. Maybe put a bit of a background, like a wall in here, or maybe just behind to here. Yeah, some more shading on like parts of it. Trying to make the body stand out a bit more. But ultimately, you get the idea. That's been roughly an hour. Oh, say something funny to finish your podcast. Oh, I know. Racial slurs with the skull.